Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Natasha. If it is your first time here, today's video is going to be a little bit different. I mentioned a few videos ago that I wanted to start doing this on my channel once a month, probably always like the last week of the month. I want to start doing a video where I get ready and I just talk to you guys about all of the new movies, new TV shows that I have been watching during that month. I love movies. I love watching movies. I love watching TV. I'm constantly watching movies. I'm constantly watching new movies. And when I say new, I don't always mean like new coming out, new releases. Like some movies, you know, like you can't watch everything. So like new to me style movies. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm just going to be getting ready. I'm not really going to be talking about like any techniques or any makeup products. I'm just going to be literally getting ready and talking to you about some of the stuff I've watched this month. So if you're interested in this video, just keep watching.
Now close your eyes.
Alright, so I made a little list on my phone of everything I have been watching lately. So let's just do it. Let's get into it. I love watching these style of videos where you're just kind of getting ready and talking about a story. Bailey Sarian does this with true crime videos. She just gets ready and tells like a true crime story, and I love that. It's so entertaining for me because I'm like watching the makeup and I'm also listening to the story. So it's kind of what we're doing here. I want to start by talking about a TV show that I have been just stuck on. So this is the show The Boys. It's on Amazon Prime. It is a like superhero TV show. I love superheroes. I love all things superheroes. But this is like a dark TV show. It's not Marvel, it's not DC, it's its own thing, and it is definitely dark if you are into... It kind of reminds me of like Watchmen, like the original Watchmen movie and even the Watchmen TV show a little bit. This show is so intense. It's so good. Amazon, the first season when it came out, they just put out the first season. Now it's the second season, and the way they're doing it is they announce a new episode every Friday. So the new episode comes out each Friday. Me and Spencer are stuck on this show. It is so good, and honestly, some of the characters that I hated in the first season are slowly morphing and becoming into my favorite characters in the second season. Honestly, every character's evil. Every character sucks. They just do. But something about this show, like you get so sucked into it. Like I said, it's a superhero show, but it has to do with like, you know, usually when you watch superhero things, like if you watch anything Marvel, all the superheroes are good guys. You know, like they don't ever do anything bad. They don't really make like huge mistakes. Like they're all really just good people. The superheroes in this show? No, they are not good people at all. Not one of these superheroes would I say like, oh, they're a good person. Like, if you're going to watch the show, just know that there is a lot of violence. There is a lot of, like, sexual misconduct. I don't know how to say it without saying it, but that should be enough for you. There is drug use. There is alcohol. There is a lot of blood and guts. Like, this show is intense, and weirdly, I hate the main character. The main character is this guy named Huey. He's not a super person. He's just a regular person, and I find him to just be so incredibly whiny and annoying. Like, I'm so put off by him. I don't like him at all, and actually some of my friends feel the same way. Like, his character, I think, is supposed to just be, like, the regular person. He's supposed to be the person that, like, most people can relate to, and I can't stand him. Like, I just find him to be so annoying. But I am stuck on this show right now. Like I said, it's on Amazon. It's an Amazon original show. It is so good, especially if you love superhero stuff. Even if you don't like superhero stuff, I know some people like just aren't really into Marvel movies or even DC movies. They find them to be like too campy, too like little kiddish. Watch this. It is so good. They're hour-long episodes. Like I said, a new one comes out every Friday, and it is intense. Intense. And I don't want to give away like too much about the show if you're going to watch it, but the main superhero, like one of the main superhero guys, is Homelander, and he's basically like Captain America but evil. You know, so like he is like the Captain America style superhero, you know, Superman, Captain America, like that whole vibe. This guy is nuts. He is so crazy. Like, The actor is incredible. I'll give it. The actor who plays him is incredible because I hate his character so much. And I'm like, this actor is great. This actor is so good that he has made me just despise this character so hard. Whew, it is so good. The next show I have been watching is not a new show. It is an old show, but I had to restart it over from the first season. Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Say what you want to say about the Kardashians, but they make good TV, okay? They make great reality TV. I have watched this show since it came out. I love it. It's great. Spencer always says that, like, when he can tell when I've been watching the show, like, for a while, because he's like, your mood changes. You start acting a little bit more spicy when you're watching that show, and I love it. I started watching it over from the first season because they announced that this next season coming out is going to be the final season of the show, and end of an era. The Kardashian era on TV is ending. So crazy to me. I've seen all the spin-offs. Kourtney and Khloe Take Miami. I don't know why I can't think of the other ones, but I've watched them all. I've The Life of Kylie. I've even watched, like, Becoming Caitlyn Jenner. I actually met Bruce Jenner before he transitioned into Caitlyn, so I met her when she was still Bruce. Insane. Like, if you want a story time on that, let me know. I mean, it's not, like, that crazy, but I did meet Bruce Jenner when she was Bruce Jenner before she was Caitlyn Jenner. It's kind of hard to talk about. I don't want to, like, offend anyone or use any of the wrong pronouns, but I met her when she was still Bruce. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that correctly. But rewatching the show from the first episode is insane how different the show is, how different the show flows, how everyone is. It's funny because it's like some people, it's funny because when you watch it, it's like, oh, they are exactly the same, they haven't changed. And then when you watch like a newer episode, you're like, oh my god, they're completely different. But I love it. It's good reality TV. And Spencer likes to act like he doesn't like it, but I know he does. I know he does. And it's great. I mean, if you haven't seen it, why not start it? It's on Hulu. You might hate it, you might love it, but you have to admit, they've been on TV forever. It's really an end of an era, so I had to start it over. It's such a good, just, like, background TV show. Like, I'm all about shows that I can kind of just, like, put on and just ignore. I feel like I'm home by myself a lot, so I like having just a little bit of, like, a background noise going on, and something like that is perfect for that. Okay, what's next? I honestly haven't been watching that many TV shows this month. I've really been watching movies, so let's just get into the movies. One of the movies I watched this month that was a new movie to me is called The Green Room. Now, this is a horror movie. This is like a scary thriller movie. Spencer actually put this on, and it's one of those movies where, like, it sucks. Like, the storyline is so stupid, but the actors are really good in it. It has, no, what's his name? He plays Chekhov in Star Trek. Why can't I think of his name? It has that guy in it. It has one of the brothers from Peaky Blinders is in it. I am doing a terrible job at naming these actors in it. It has Sir Patrick Stewart, who also from Star Trek. Whatever. It is one of, yeah, like I was saying, it's one of those movies where the storyline is stupid. It's like a stupid, typical horror movie, but the acting is actually really good. It's about, basically, what it's about is this punk rock band is traveling to these gigs, and they end up going to a gig that gets canceled, so the person who set up the gig is like, oh, I can set you up for this other gig, and I think Portland, Oregon is where they're kind of acting like it is, and they're like, but, you know, the bar you're going to be going to, like, they're pretty hardcore. They're Nazis, basically, like, they're skinheads, like, boots to the ground type people. And so they go to this bar, and they end up basically witnessing a murder and being stuck at this bar fighting these, like, Nazis, and that's what the movie is about. And like I said, the storyline is so dumb. The storyline is so stupid. There's so many times throughout the movie where you're like, come on, really? But I will give it, the actual, like, gore elements and the special effects and stuff are really, really good. The acting is really good. Even though it's a scary movie, there's, like, a couple times where it's actually, like, pretty funny. Has, I would say, a typical horror movie ending to it. We watched this on Netflix. It was just, like, a good movie. Like, I wouldn't rate it, like, 10 out of 10 best scary movie I ever seen, but I would watch it again, and I do think it's one of those just like, you know, those like lazy days where you're on the couch all day and you just want to watch scary movies, or if you're like Netflix and chilling with someone, this is a good movie to watch. Also, I just love Sir Patrick Stewart. I think that he is such a good actor. He's so funny. He's such a good actor in this role that he's playing in this movie. Like I said, it's called The Green Room. Check it out. It's a really good, just kind of like B-rate horror movie. They actually got some pretty big actors in it, which kind of like blew my mind, but I definitely think it's like a good scary movie, especially because Halloween's coming up, and like, I don't know about you, Spencer and I are doing a 31 Days of Fright, so we're making a list of 31 different scary movies to watch this month because I love scary movies. Like, I would say that horror films is definitely like one of my favorite genres of movies to watch. I love even like true crime documentaries, anything scary, anything that gets like your heart racing, I love watching. So I think this would be a good one to add to your list if you are making like a list of scary movies to watch this fall. Okay, moving on from my eyeshadow. The next movie I watched was also a movie that Spencer put on, and this movie changed the way I view zombie movies. Personally, I'm not really into zombies. I don't find zombies scary. I don't think they're interesting. I honestly never liked The Walking Dead. I don't really like any zombie movies. Like, I just don't find zombies to be scary at all. Like, if all of these scary movie, horror movie characters, whatever, zombies have always been something I've just always been like, I'm just not into zombies. Like, I just don't get it. Spencer put on this movie. It's called Train to Busan. It is a Korean film, and so it is all completely subtitled, which I don't care at all. Actually, sometimes I prefer subtitles because I don't understand what someone says, and I make Spencer rewind it a bunch of times, so if I can just read it, it's better. This is hands down the best zombie movie I have ever seen in my whole entire life. It is so good. It's a zombie train movie, so basically it's called Train to Busan. Basically, it's about this father is taking his daughter on a train ride to go to her mother's house, which is, you know, in the town over. I believe this takes place in Korea. It is a Korean film, so I'm just going to assume it takes place in Korea. And there's a zombie outbreak in the world on the train, and it's about, like, zombies on a train. Like, it is so good. The characters are so amazing. It has so many times, like, usually with scary movies, I feel like you really can, you, like, know, like, this happens, and this happens, and this person dies, the couple having sex dies, this happens, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's how scary movies go. There was so many points in this movie that I was just like, what? Like, that's what's happening? Like, you really love the characters. You really hate some of the characters, like, hate. There's one character, if you've seen it, you know who I'm talking about. I hate him with my whole life and soul. All of it. Hate him. This movie is so good, and like I said, I'm not a zombie person. I'm not into zombies. I was stuck to the screen. Like, usually when I watch movies, even if it's a brand new movie I haven't seen before, like, if I go to the bathroom, I don't care. I'm like, oh, just let it play. I'll figure it out. Every time I went up to go pee, it is kind of a longer movie, and you know what? I pee a lot. I can't help it. I was like, babe, we need to pause this. We need to pause it. Like, I need to know exactly what's happening frame by frame. I can't miss 1 second of it. It is so good. It has such a amazing ending. Not even amazing in, like, a sense where it's like, oh, it's a happy ending. Like, it is such a good movie. It's scary as fuck. Like, I usually don't find zombies scary. This movie is scary. The special effects makeup, the CGI, everything is so well done. The story is so great. It keeps you on the edge of your seat. I'm like on my toes watching this movie, like, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? We watched it on Amazon Prime. I would watch it again today. That's how good I think this movie is. I honestly, genuinely believe that Korean films, Japanese films, Chinese films, like scary movies, tend to be scarier than anything you'll see in the United States. Like, the original Grudge movie, so scary. Train to Busan is amazing. Definitely check it out. I'm pretty sure I've watched it on Amazon. If you are a zombie fan, or if you're not a zombie fan, I highly recommend it. It has like a 99% Rotten Tomatoes score or something. I don't really personally go by Rotten Tomatoes because I don't know, it's a little suspect. Like, there's so many movies that get such good scores that I'm like, that movie sucks, and there's so many movies that get terrible scores that I'm like, that movie's good. So it's kind of just all up to whatever you like in movies, I feel like. So I kind of like take Rotten Tomatoes like this. Like, I don't really buy it fully, but it does have a great Rotten Tomatoes score, that being said. This movie was so good. So good. I haven't stopped talking about it. Like, I was just telling Spencer the other day, like, that might be the best scary movie I've seen all year. All year. Train to Busan. Check it out. It's a train zombie movie. It is so good. So good. Now that I'm looking at my list, I really did watch a lot more, like, scary movies this month than I feel like we usually do. The next movie that I watched this month that just, like, blew my mind is called Vivarium. I believe that's how you pronounce it. I'll put the movie poster on here like I've been doing for everything else. This has Jesse Eisenberg and Imogen Poots in it. That's who stars in this movie. Something about Jesse Eisenberg, I think he is such a good actor, and I do think that he kind of does usually play a very similar character, but he plays an asshole so well. He is so good at being a complete dick. Like, I get angry watching him. Like, the Facebook movie, like, The Social Network, I get so fired up watching that movie because he makes me so angry. I just think he's such a good actor. I also think Imogen Poots is a great actor. So this movie, Vivarium, it's a mindfuck of a movie, honestly. So what this movie is about is it's about a couple. So Jesse Eisenberg and Imogen Poots' characters, they are a couple and they are looking to get a new house. So they go to one of these, like, new housing developments. Like, you know how, like, when new housing developments pop up, like, you can go into, like, this office building and you, like, meet with someone and they show you the different floor plans and your different options and this and that, and then they'll be like, oh, we can go show you a house. That's basically what the movie is. So they go to this new housing development and they're talking to this guy about the houses, and he kind of pressures them into being like, oh, well, let's just go check one out today. Like, let's go look at one of the houses. So he takes them to one of the houses, and as they're driving down the street, it's very much like Stepford Wives. Like, every single house looks the same. All the yards look the same. All the streets look the same. Like, it's very eerie how similar everything looks, okay? And the guy also is a weirdo. Like, the guy who's showing them the house is kind of weird. He's giving off kind of weird vibes. So he takes them to the house. They're looking at it, and next thing they know, like, the guy is gone. Like, they're like, that's weird. Like, where did he go? They try to leave. They're like, let's get out of this neighborhood. Let's just go home. They get in their car, and they get lost. Like, they can't figure out how to get out of this neighborhood. They basically just, like, keep driving in circles over and over again, over and over again. This movie is such a mind fuck because they literally end up running out of gas, and then they're just stuck at this random house, okay, that this guy took them to. So they're like, okay, well, let's just, you know, stay the night. Tomorrow morning, we'll figure it out. And it basically goes through, like, days of them being stuck at this house and not being able to get out. You know, they're climbing over roofs. They're going on all the streets. They're going on foot. They're lighting fires. Like, it is so insane. Then one day, a box shows up with a baby in it. A baby, okay? Spoilers. Spoilers for everything I'm talking about in these videos. Spoilers. A baby shows up with a note that says, like, raise the baby and you're free to go, which me and Spencer looked at each other and we were like, oh, hell no. Hell no. Like, the whole time I'm watching this movie, I'm just thinking of all the ways, like, all the things I would do to get away from this neighborhood, to, like, get out of, like, they must be stuck in, like, a parallel universe or something. Like, my mind is racing watching this movie because it's insane. Like, they're stuck, you know? Like, so you're just like, what is going on? This is what I would do. This is what I want to do. So they basically get stuck, forced to raise this baby. But this baby is crazy. Like, he's growing, like, super fast. He's, like, a kid in 2 months. He's, like, a 10-year-old. Like, he's growing super fast. This kid is insane, okay? He, like, is screaming at the top of his lungs, like, for, like, food. Like, I can't even explain it. It is such a creepy, weird movie. When I say it's a mindfuck of a movie, it's a mindfuck of a movie, okay? You're watching it, like, I'm giving you a lot away, and it's still not making any sense, is it? Watch the trailer, still doesn't make sense. Like, at the end of the movie, I was just kind of like, what did I just watch? Like, that movie is so weird. So weird. The acting is so good, even though there's really only 2 people, like, in the whole entire movie. The acting is so phenomenal. The movie is so creepy. It makes you feel so uneasy. And weirdly, the movie feels slow. Like, as you're watching it, you're like, man, this is kind of a slow movie. But you're sucked into it so hard, which I feel like usually doesn't happen, especially with me. Like, if I get kind of bored on a movie, I instantly am, like, on my phone, on the gram, I'm on Twitter, like, I'm just doing something else. This movie, I don't think I picked my phone up once. Phenomenal. It's on Hulu. I feel like my hair is just getting frizzier by the second, and I don't know why I'm not doing anything to it. But, like I was saying, the movie is so good. It's so weird. Like, I wouldn't recommend watching it before you go right to bed. Like, watch something after it, because you're going to be feeling weird after you watch it. The plot twist is insane. The movie is so good. Like I said, Vivarium, check it out. It's on Hulu. It's craziness. Okay, so the next movie I want to talk to you guys about is called The Babysitter Killer Queens. This is actually a sequel to the original Babysitter movie. This is one of those scary movies that I feel like you would watch as like a 10-year-old at a sleepover. Like, it has some like gore elements. It's definitely not like super appropriate, but it's one of those like almost like poppy scary movies, if you know what I mean by that. It has Bella Thorne in it, which I don't know how you feel about her. I don't feel great about her, but whatever. Basically, it's a sequel to the first one. The first one is about this kid whose babysitter tries to kill him. She's like part of this cult, and the whole thing is they need to kill him for his virgin blood because then they'll get like all of their wishes will come true or some shit like that. So this one is the sequel. I didn't even know they made a sequel. It was on Netflix. Spencer and I just like threw it on one day as we were cooking dinner, and it actually is pretty good. Like I said, it's not like the greatest scary movie ever. It's definitely more of like a poppy, sleepover type of scary movie. Quite funny, actually. And not funny in a way where I'm like, oh my god, this movie sucks. It's hilarious. Like, the dialogue is actually pretty funny. Like, there are some pretty funny lines in the movie. Really cute, really good. I like it. It's innocent, it's fun, it's something that you can just, you know, throw on the TV, watch again and again. I would totally, listen, I would watch this movie with my nieces. I don't know if their moms would be happy with that or if they could really, like, handle it, but I think it's completely harmless. It's cute, it's fun. I don't really have too much to say about it other than that. It's just, like, a cute, fun little movie. If you're on Netflix, definitely check it out. The first one is called The Babysitter. This is, like I said, just the sequel. I will say, though, this second one, The Babysitter Killer Queen, was filmed in a different way from the first one. The second one is really giving me, like, Scott Pilgrim vibes. Like, it almost has, like, a anime, comic book kind of style filming to it, and I love that. That's what I mean when I say it's, like, a little bit more poppy. It's just fun. It's honestly very fun to watch because the filming is so cool and interesting. Like, some of the fight scenes remind me of Scott Pilgrim so much. It's just cute. I really like it. I definitely recommend it to like everyone, even if you're not a scary movie person. Like, it's not really like a scary movie in that sense. It almost feels like it's making fun of a scary movie. It's great. Super cute, super innocent, super fun. On Netflix, like I said. Do you guys see this? Who gets a zit right there? This was a humongous whitehead that is now a scab, like all the other zits I ever get. But right here, that's like the worst place ever to get to zit. I can't wear any sunglasses right now because it just pushes on it and it hurts. Like, ugh. Okay, so I have been talking a lot about scary movies. I do have a few more on my list, but I'm going to just kind of switch it up a little bit and talk to you guys about a comedy movie that I watched. This movie is called Get Duked. It is a European film. It just got released in the United States, and it's on Amazon Prime. It is so cute, so funny. I love movies of this style. So the movie is about a group of boys, of adolescent boys, and they're all kind of like troublemakers. So this is kind of like, they're all like have been in juvie or in detention or whatever, and they have to like do some sort of like school service thing. So basically, they don't have, I don't know if this is like legit a thing they do in Europe, but it's called the, I don't remember what it's called, but it seems like a Boy Scout thing. Like, they basically get dropped off in one location and they have to, like, travel through the wilderness to get to this other location where their teacher is. And it's almost making fun of World's Most Dangerous Game. So these kids are being hunted by, like, this old man out in this wilderness area. Except for these kids are idiots. It's 4 boys, like I said. Yeah, 4 boys. Hilarious. They're so funny. They're just, like, little delinquents. It's such a cute, fun movie. The humor in it's good. The music's in it's good. Visually, it's really nice because you get to see a lot of, like, rolling European hills, and it's really pretty, and it has, like... Okay, so I just looked it up. It's actually in Scottish Highlands. So the synopsis for this movie says, a camping trip in the Scottish Highlands turns into a fight for survival when 4 teens become the target of vicious hunters. So it's basically like World's Most Dangerous Game, but with teen boys. It is so cute, so funny. It's on Amazon. I actually watched the trailer for it like 4 or 5 times before I actually clicked on it. I don't know if you guys do that, but I definitely do that. Like, I'll keep watching trailers over and over again, and then I'll be like, screw it, let's just watch it. Super cute, super fun. I think it's a great, like, daytime movie, like a Sunday day, you're being lazy on the couch. I was cracking up. Like, there was so many parts in the movie where I was, like, legit belly laughing. It is so funny. And I don't want to be rude by saying this, but one thing I love about more of European films is in a lot of movies and TV shows, I noticed that a lot of the main characters aren't very conventionally attractive. Like, I felt like if they made this movie in the United States, all of the boys would be, like, supermodels. It would be, like, Timothée Chalamet, that Noah Cento kid. Like, it would be, like, the Riverdale kids. Like, it would be just all dudes that are, like, super buff. They're trying to play high schoolers, but they're clearly not, like, the cute guys. This film, it just looked like regular dudes. Like, it looked like just regular guys that I would have went to school with or that I would just see on the street. And I really love seeing that in movies. Like, a lot of times you watch movies, especially American movies, and everyone's attractive. Like, everyone is, like, off the chains attractive. It's not even just like, oh, they're good looking. It's like, oh my god, like, why are they acting when they could be supermodels? Like, so I really liked that they looked just like regular kids. Regular teenagers, regular boys. Like, it wasn't any, like, element of, like, oh, we're gonna put really cute kids in this movie because more people would watch it. Like, no, it was just, like, a regular cast of people. It was hilarious. Even some of the side characters, like, the main characters are the 4 boys. That's who you follow through the movie. Some of the side characters are hilarious. Some of the little side plots, so funny. Really, really, really cute. Good movie. I would watch it again over and over. I think it's really funny. The name that it got put in for the United States, it's under the name Get Duked. I guess it was originally released as Boys in the Woods, which I thought was hilarious. The movie poster is hilarious. It has a good movie poster for it. Definitely check it out on Amazon Prime. It's just like a good laugh. Plus, I love listening to movies where people have accents. Like, I like to think that I can do any accent I hear. Like, I hear it and I'm like, oh, I have that accent. So not true. Probably so offensive, me walking around my house talking in a terrible British accent. Scottish accent, I guess, since this takes place in the Scottish Highlands, but such a good movie. Okay, so the next movie I watched this month is called Guns Akimbo. It's starring our favorite wizard, Daniel Radcliffe, with an American accent, might I add. Tell me why I didn't realize it through halfway of the movie, though, that he was using an American accent instead of his regular accent. Halfway through the movie, I was like, does he sound a little different? And my husband was like, yeah, he's been in an American accent the whole time. Like, how have you not noticed? And I'm like, well, I've just been so blinded by the fact that I'm graced by watching Daniel Radcliffe on the TV screen again. I guess I didn't analyze him that hard. Who knows? Anyways, so this movie is about, the main character is Daniel Radcliffe's character Miles, and he is like a web developer or something like that. But he is like an online troll. That's what he does. That's what he gets his kicks out of, is being a troll online. And he is trolling this website. So there is this website, and I've seen similar kind of movie concepts to this before, where it's basically a website where it's like, a live death match between two people, and then you're like commenting on it and you're like betting on who you're gonna think is gonna win, and it's like almost like you're getting dared to do things online on live. And he's trolling this website, he's trolling people on this website, and the creators, the people that run it, whatever, capture him and are like, okay, you troll, now you're part of it, you gotta be in a death match against our like #1 fighter, who is this girl. And so they capture him, they take like 2 guns and like bolt them industrially onto his hands. So like he can't use his hands because both of his hands have guns bolted to them. So he's literally walking around like this with 2 big ass guns on his hands, okay? He's in a robe. Listen, you have seen the meme, I will put it up here. The meme of him filming this, he's like in a robe, he's on the street, he's looking all crazy. That's from this movie, okay? Daniel Radcliffe is a great actor. He just is. This movie is so good. I would say it's like a action comedy movie. I wouldn't consider it like a scary movie. It's definitely like a comedy action movie. It is so good. It is so funny. The action scenes are great in it. Like I said, Daniel Radcliffe is great. The girl, let me look up who the girl main character actress is. Samara Weaving, who actually is one of the main characters in that Babysitter movie I was talking about earlier. She plays the, like, I'm the big bad bitch, I'm the best killer on this website girl. So it's Daniel Radcliffe against this girl. Action comedy. It is so cute, so funny. I really like the style that it's filmed because it goes from like you're seeing stuff on people's cell phones, you're seeing stuff on the computers. Like, I believe it takes place in like New York City, and it's great. It's so funny. I was cracking up the whole time I was watching it. It was one of those movies that I kind of just like turned on just because I saw Daniel Radcliffe was in it, and I'm like, oh, this is actually a really good movie. I really like it. If you like action comedies, if you're into comedies, definitely check it out. It's such a fun watch. I would totally watch it again. I believe that I watched this movie on Hulu, and this is one of those movies that if you look it up on Rotten Tomatoes, it has a terrible score. It has like a 50% or something, which isn't very good, but I think it's a great movie. It's obviously not like a phenomenal script, a big message type of movie, but it is just a great comedy, action, thriller movie. So good. I really like it. The CGI in it's really good. The effects are in it really good. The fight scenes are really good. One thing I hate about fight scenes with women is, I don't know if you've noticed this, but any action movie where a woman is doing a fight scene, I swear 90% of her fighting is props. Like, she's pulling down a dresser, she's hitting someone with a chair. Like, there's so many movies where the woman is fighting and she's actually not really doing any fighting style choreography. It's a lot of just props. And I can't stand that. It is so obvious when I'm watching movies and that happens. And what I really liked about this movie is, yeah, there's like guns and stuff, like that's like part of it, but the woman who is like the main fighter girl, like there actually is some good fighting choreography scenes. I really appreciate that because I feel like women get like kind of a tough break in action movies. Like, we're all about like, oh, she hit him with the chair, she pulled a dresser down on him, she slammed a door on his hand. Like, it tends to be kind of stuff like that versus like actual good fighting choreography. So that's something I did really like about this movie. Like I said, it was hilarious. There's honestly a couple lines in the movie that I keep quoting to Spencer because they were just so funny. Really good movie. Has a little bit of a plot twist in it that's nice. I really liked it. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it was on Hulu. Okay, so before I talk about the last movie on my list for this month, I want to talk about a couple YouTubers that I have been really watching. I will say this month, kind of been sticking in the same lane of what I've been watching. I've been watching a lot of the same YouTubers kind of over and over again, but I have recently discovered for myself 2 YouTubers that I have really been liking to watch. The first one is Eleanor Neely. I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly. She is a true crime channel, so she sits down. Her makeup is always phenomenal. She doesn't get ready and talk. She's already ready. She's just sitting there telling the story. Her accent is beautiful. I love the way she talks. I'm not exactly sure where she's from. I know it's somewhere in Europe, so she has more of a European accent. Her videos are so good. They're really nice, well researched. I really like the perspective she has on some true crime. If you're into true crime, I definitely recommend checking her out. Super cute, super fun, educational. I mean, true crime is educational to some extent, but she really does do good research. A lot of times her videos end up being two-parters because she doesn't want to condense them down too small, so I've been really enjoying watching her videos lately. And she does cover a lot of cases that I personally haven't heard of because they are from the UK or in Europe. Obviously, because she lives there, she knows a lot more of those cases. She sees those ones a lot more. Not like, you know, physically sees them, but like sees them in the news and stuff. And it's nice to me because I feel like I have, at this point, I've heard a lot of the true crime stories, especially in the United States. I keep pretty up on it. I watch quite a few YouTubers that are in the United States. And so it's fun for me, not fun, but it's interesting for me to hear stories that happened in other countries and other parts of the world. And she does report on a lot of cases that have to do with Europe versus the United States. So that's really interesting to me. Definitely check her out. Her channel is great and she posts a lot. Like, it's not like she posts once a month. Like, she really does post a lot. I'm honestly really impressed with her videos because they are so good. You could tell that she really spends a lot of time researching and reading books and reading articles and doing as much as she can for the videos, and she still puts out a lot of content. Really impressed with her channel. Really like her, so check her out. And the next YouTuber I want to talk about is actually a YouTuber who inspired me to kind of do this style of video. Her name is Kenny, and her whole vibe on her channel is she does makeup videos, she does reviews, but one thing that she does that I really love is every Saturday she comes out with a video called Bad Movies in a Beat. So she gets ready, she's doing her makeup, but she's talking about bad movies. And when I say bad movies, I'm not just saying like in her opinion it's a bad movie. Like, no, she talks about trash movies. Like movies that you're like, how did this get funded and make money? Like, this movie is so terrible. She just sits, does her makeup, and goes over the whole entire movie. She's hilarious. She has a great sense of humor. The way I found her is one of her videos actually popped up on like my recommended, and it was talking about like how Twilight is like the worst movie ever, and she's talking about this movie, and she was like telling people like, listen, I used to have a Taylor Lautner obsession. And she goes to talk about that, and she just goes over the movies, and it's hilarious because she's not just like bashing these movies, saying like, oh, this movie sucks. Like, she explains why the movie is bad, whether it's like the movie has a lot of stupid racial stereotypes, if the movie has like abusive relationships. Like, do you know that movie 365 that everyone was like going crazy about because of the like 20-minute sex scene in it? She did a review, A Bad Movie in a Beat, on that movie, and I was laughing so hard because she really does talk about how there's a lot of abusive relationship tropes that get played in these movies, and then somehow the movie like mindfucks you into thinking like, oh, they're so romantic, like that's just how it is. And it's like, no, it's not okay. Like, if someone, male or female, is manipulating you that way or treating you that way, like, that's not okay. It doesn't matter. And she just cracks me up. And there's so many of these bad movies that I never even heard of that I'm like, how is this a movie? Like, how? And she does amazing makeup. She's super cute. Like I said, she has a great sense of humor. I really, really love the video idea of getting ready and reviewing bad movies. Her videos are just like a light to my day. Like, they crack me up. They're so fun. Definitely check out her channel. Okay, so I'm going to hop off camera and throw on some mascara. Then we'll come back and do my lip, and I'll talk to you about the last movie I want to talk about. This one is crazy. I will be right back. Okay, so let's talk about this last movie that I want to talk about. I have briefly mentioned this movie a couple videos ago, and I've watched it again since then, and I still do not understand this movie. It is called I'm Thinking of Ending Things. It's on Netflix. It is hands down the weirdest, strangest, confusing movie I have watched in years. Years, okay? And this is one of those movies that I watched the trailer for a couple of times, and then when I watched the movie, first of all, it's long. It's like 3 hours long. I'm sitting there watching the movie like this, the whole entire time, okay? I have no idea what's happening. I don't understand the movie. Everything I think of how it is going to go, it doesn't. It makes no sense. It is such a creepy movie, and it's one of those movies, too. It's not just like the movie makes no sense and it sucks. Like, it's a good movie, but also I feel as if all the happiness has drained inside of me after I watched it. It is so eerie and creepy and confusing, and like I said, after the first time I watched it, I read like 100 articles. Like, I read the Wikipedia, I read a bunch of stuff. Apparently it's a book, like it was a book before it was made into a movie, so I might read the book to help me understand it more. It is so confusing. Let me just read you. This is the Wikipedia, like the, one sentence synopsis of the movie. Full of misgivings, a young woman travels with her new boyfriend to his parents' secluded farm. Now, this is a horror drama film. So when you hear that, you kind of paint a picture of your head of what's going to happen. Like, oh, they're going to secluded farm with his parents. Like, I wonder what could happen. Nothing you think could happen is going to happen. You couldn't pay me. If you were like, gun to my head, explain to me what this movie is, or I'm going to kill you, I would just say kill me. Just kill me, because there's no possible way I will be able to explain what this movie is. I told one of my friends to watch it, and they were like, oh, we want to like drink. Like, we want to get in our feels before we watch it. And I honestly don't think that's a good idea. I think that if I were to watch this movie under the influence of anything, I would have a bad trip. Like, I would have a mental breakdown. This is the strangest movie, like I said, I think I have ever watched in my whole entire life. It is so creepy, so eerie. The acting is done so well. It's so uncomfortable. Like, it makes me feel uncomfortable. And the weird thing about it is there isn't any violence, really. There isn't any... I mean, there's a tiny bit of violence, but it's not like it's an overly violent movie. There isn't any, like, sexual assault, anything like that. Like, most of the things that are in these, like, scary thriller horror movies, it doesn't have. It doesn't have any of that. Thinking about it makes my head want to explode. Like, it is so insane. I still don't understand it after watching it a second time, and when I watched it the second time, I was really, really trying to watch it. I wish I could sit up here and be like, oh, the director, it's all a bigger message for this. Like, oh, you don't understand the art. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't understand the message. It's so... It is insane. I think even if I watched it 10 more times, I wouldn't understand it. Like, it is so creepy. When I tell you that after I watched it, I sat in silence next to Spencer, who was feeling the exact same way, and was just kind of like, how do I move on in life? How do I go about life after watching that movie? Like, you literally feel a pit in your stomach. Like, it's so weird. Like, I wish I could talk to the actors who did that movie and see how they feel, like, hear what they have to say about it. Like, but I have no words. Watch it. It's on Netflix. Make sure to have something queued up afterwards that is going to make you feel happy. Like, afterwards, I put on The Office because I was like, I need something that is just purely going to make me laugh and make me forget about the weirdness that I just watched. And even though I did that, I still had trouble sleeping that night because I was just like, what does it all mean? What does it all mean? What happened? What happened? And it has phenomenal actors and actresses in it. I can't remember anyone's name right off the bat. So some of the actors that are in it, the main character is Jesse Plemons, who was in an episode of Black Mirror. He has been in a lot of stuff. He kind of looks like Matt Damon. I'll put a picture here on screen. You know what I'm talking about. Toni Collette, who was the mother in Hereditary. She is amazing. David Twillis is in it, and you may know him as Professor Lupin from Harry Potter, okay? There's amazing actors in this movie, and they do an amazing job. The acting is so good. Everything about it, the scenery, I can't even, I don't have words. I don't have words. It is that good of a movie, that strange of a movie, that uncomfortable of a movie. Definitely don't recommend watching it with kids. First of all, I don't think kids would understand it at all. I think they would be so bored and they just wouldn't even get it. I don't even get it, okay? Just watch it. It's on Netflix. Watch it, and please, please, after you watch it, leave me a comment down below about what you think of the movie. Hell, explain the movie to me, because I still, it's like I say I get it. Like, I'm like, oh, I get it, but I don't get it. I don't get it at all. If I was sitting around like a group of people, I would just act pretentious and act like I totally understood the message. But in reality, I'm like, I got no clue. I have zero clue. This is, like I said, hands down the strangest movie I've ever watched. It's on Netflix. Please, please watch it. Tell me how you feel. It is so weird. I don't know how else to explain it. It's weird. It's uncomfortable. It's good. Check it out. Alright guys, and that is it for this video. Those are all of the things that I have been watching this month. This video might have been a little rocky, a little rough. It's kind of my first time really sitting down and doing this. I'm sure that over time they will get better and better. Let me know in the comments down below if you've seen any of the movies I've talked about and your feelings on them. Let me know if you have any movie or TV recommendations for me. I like everything. I watch everything. Let me know. I am planning on doing another one of these videos next month, so maybe that one will go a little bit smoother. Who knows? Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Like I said, let me know in the comments down below your thoughts. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!